Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode. Today we have a lot of finishing touches that are going on and I'm really excited to show you. So first, because we've been promising it for a long time, I want to show you how the barn doors are coming along. My dear friend Dustin Walrus, who is going to be the resident carpenter of this project. And Dustin, tell us a little bit about what you do and what you're going to be doing here.
Basically, I do minor carpentry work and renovations, and I'll be doing I already did the barn doors, which will be in soon, as well as the pantry and the master bedroom closet.
So I noticed that instead of using the wire shelves that most people use, you're doing something a little bit different with wood trim. Can you walk us through it a little bit?
Yeah, so what I went ahead and did was I started making some tracks for the actual wood to, the actual shelves to sit on. We're gonna actually use full sheets of wood. That way everything balances easier that way and nothing falls through the cracks or tips or falls over.
Right,
easily.
because that's the problem with the wire shelves, right? You put that bottle of hot sauce and it tips over, or like and if something spills and it goes all over.
Exactly, and it was designed just right so I could put track on each side without having to do big, large, bulky L brackets going up and down. That way it's not, in the way of moving anything,
Right.
and things like that. So it's going to be seamless as it sits in there.
Very cool. So very excited about the shelves that you're doing there, and then the barn doors. Also, you're going to be doing something on that front room. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Correct. We're just going to be doing some just basic wood siding for the whole room, something elegant and something to make it look like more of that 1940s cabana style feel of the cigar room,
Yes.
bar area, speakeasy sort of area. So we're gonna go ahead and do, we haven't discussed on what color we're gonna do for the wood stain.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to do it like a dark walnut, medium to dark walnut.
So we'll do a dark walnut, and then in between those we're gonna do long strips going vertical and horizontal in squares of a bit lighter or maybe even darker color than that to contrast each colors.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that because the whole house is obviously very light and very airy, and we didn't know what to do with this room. The builder called it the parlor, and so because we didn't have any ideas for it, we decided to go all crazy with it. So we are basically going to wrap the entire thing on wood with walnut color wood, and it's going to have the smell and finish and smokiness to it. So I'm pretty excited about that, and Dustin's going to be tackling that project as well as the closets, which we're not going to talk about today because that's a surprise for my wife, but we'll see it in a future episode. Thank you so much, Dustin.
Thank you, Mario.
So they're not completely finished. We have them mounted now just to do some final adjustments. What happens is, a lot of times when people install barn doors, they just hang them from the top. And what ends up happening is you have this wobbly situation where the door can move back and forth. And so we don't want to do that. We put a floor guide. We're going to put a floor guide on them so that they stay on their position. And to do that, first you kind of make them a little oversized. You hang them, and then we trim the bottom accordingly so that they're nice and even. Then they'll still get another coat of paint after they're cut, and then the chrome handles will go on and they'll be finished. But you can see how beautiful they complement the space with the stainless steel machine hardware. This is what's called a Z-brace because it looks like a Z. And so that's what we decided to go with in this barn door and in the other barn door. Next thing that we've done is, this is a good place to show it. If you look up at the recessed lighting, we went ahead actually and eliminated all of the can lights that they're like the can like this with the light bulb, because there's two things with this. So first, they look a little outdated now when you see the bulb with a gap in between. And then the second thing that happens is they're not as airtight, so you can lose a little bit of cooling through the space between the drywall knockdown and the can light itself. So we went with these LED self-contained lights. They end up having a gasket between the edge of the light and the drywall, so they're perfectly nice and sealed to the top. And right now we have them on their night glow setting, which is, it uses only about 10% of its normal energy. to just create this nice little ring of light that serves as a night light. And so you can turn them off completely if you want, and then you can also flip them on and have you know, like your regular light that you would normally have. And then you go like this and you're back to your night light setting, which is kind of nice because we went ahead and put them throughout the hallway, and it's going to be dark in here, but I think the camera will be able to capture the rings of light. That way, if my daughter in the middle of the night wants to walk over through the house, there's going to be all these night lights that provide her kind of a well-lit path to get through. So one of the things we really wanted to do is put a mini fridge in the house, and the reason being, my daughter's 4 and we have one at home now, and it's a pretty easy way when you have a toddler for her to be able to have access to like her juice boxes and her water and whatnot. And so I went ahead and I ordered it from Amazon, and this is going to be a sad story turned happy story. But basically the thing got delivered, and as you can see, there is some pretty big damage on the door. And so I called Amazon right away and I said, hey, replacement door is about $150. Can you credit me for that? So they did. And then I plugged the refrigerator in, and it wasn't cooling down. As it turns out, when they banged it up in shipping, one of the Freon lines seemed to have been hit, and it leaked all the Freon out. So anyways, I called Amazon again, and they were very gracious in providing a full refund for the unit, and they don't even want us to ship it back. They said that because it contains chemicals or whatever, it's not worth for us to ship it back. So we'll see if we can probably get someone to fix it or donate it or something else. But now you know, if you buy something like an appliance from Amazon, be sure to check that it's working on everything, and don't be shy in letting them know, because they definitely did right by us with just one phone call. So that was a pretty cool experience. Another thing you'll notice is there's no longer a ceiling fan in the family room. There will be another ceiling fan in there. What we did is, because the ceiling fan in here was a darker wood than what we did with the beams and the floor, I didn't want to leave it there, so we're going with something different. But we didn't want to waste that fan, so we moved it from this room to this room over here. So we can still repurpose it, since this is not going to be a space that we're going to be using a whole bunch. Next up, by the way, if you're interested in doing this, they sell them at Lowe's. They're about $15 each, and it takes literally about 5 minutes to install each one of them. So they're super easy to do and adds a really nice touch. We put the ceiling fan in the master bedroom, so that we have light now here because there was no light here before. We are mounting the rail for the barn door that's going to be in this space. The rail that we purchased wasn't cut to the right size. It was much bigger, so we ended up trimming the size a little bit, and we're going to use it in that space. And then if we go into the master bathroom, where there's not real light right now. Last time you guys saw the sauna, and they were installing the glass. Well, now the glass enclosure is done. The shower is completely finished. So you can see, you know, it's completely frameless. It's dirty now. We haven't had cleaners come through the house yet. They will be here tomorrow. But you can see now, you know, the shower has been finished. The glass enclosure has been done. The next thing that's going to happen is we're going to have cleaners run through the house and leave everything spotless, hopefully tomorrow. And then we're just going to finish out the pantry, finish out this barn door, and move on to the master closet within the next week or so. And then we should be about ready to move in with a target date of maybe the 3rd or 4th week of September, but we'll keep you posted. Thanks for watching, and be sure to hit the subscribe button wherever it shows up. Thank you.